This prophecy about the second coming has already been fulfilled, and you probably missed it.
Has been fulfilled.
This is something my mom pointed out to me years ago, and somehow nobody talks about it. She pays attention in General Conference, so she finds some of these hidden gems. First, let's get something out of the way. Latter-day Saints believe Jesus Christ is going to return? Yes. Christians believe Jesus Christ will return in the second coming, and Latter-day Saints have additional emphasis on the last days. There's a reason we have Latter Day in our name. We believe these are the last days. Now, what does 9/11 have to do with it? On September 11th, 2001, there was a mass terrorist attack on the United States. Thousands died as airplanes crashed into the World Trade Center towers and other locations. I remember that morning and then going to school. It was a dark day, for sure. But do you remember it? Or are you still a fetus? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to see your memories and thoughts about that day. But anyone who lived through it regarded it as a catastrophe of biblical proportions, which leads us to the October 2001 General Conference. It was the first Latter-day Saint General Conference after the 9/11 attacks. What is General Conference? General Conference is the worldwide gathering of the Latter-day Saints where we hear prophets and apostles of the Lord Jesus Christ. At that time, President Gordon B. Hinkley was the president of the church and the prophet of God. As prophet, he opened the conference with an address called Living in the Fullness of Times, which was somewhat unusual. By the way, it's a great talk and you should definitely check out the full thing. In that talk, President Hinkley said that a certain end of days biblical prophecy had been fulfilled.
The vision of Joel has been fulfilled.
The prophecy he is referring to is about the last days found in Joel chapter 2. But Peter, in the book of Acts, already said this was fulfilled once. On the day of Pentecost, the apostles began speaking in languages of those that gathered, basically a reverse Tower of Babel. Some in the crowd mocked the apostles. Others mocking said, "These men are full of new wine." But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, "Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words. For these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third hour of the day. But this, being filled with the Spirit and speaking in tongues, is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel." He then recites the prophecy, which we will get into here in a minute. But remember, prophecies can be fulfilled in multiple ways and multiple times. Signs of the times can appear again and again. President Hinkley, just after the 9/11 attacks, said the prophecy in Joel had been fulfilled. Again, presumably. Let's look at the full clip from President Hinkley.
The vision of Joel has been fulfilled, wherein he declared, "And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days will I pour out my Spirit. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord shall come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call."
Strong opposition to the Lord's church is another sign of the second coming. One of the most obvious examples of this happens just outside of General Conference, where anti-Mormon groups gather to protest. Check out the next video to hear about my experience with these protesters. It's pretty wild.